July 7th, workout breakdown, shoulder day. This one's going to seem very black and white on the surface. I'm going to try to dig a little bit deeper into some of the things and nuances of the lifting side of things. You guys will still do your monthly emphasis here. Again, this will start to not necessarily expand, but you'll start seeing a little bit different iterations and variations as we go through the month. It won't be every single day, so just keep that in mind. That being said, you can very easily incorporate this into your warm-up if you'd like to. The goal of this, again, just in case it's lost on anybody, it's 4 or 5 minutes. It's not that crazy. Honestly, you just kind of need to spend about a minute and a half in a deep squat every single day to get the real value and benefit of it. This is just teaching people how to do it, kind of identifying muscle imbalances, figuring out any red flags you may have getting into this position or out of this position potentially, and working on that throughout the month specifically. So again, just a couple of minutes. Hopefully you guys, by this point, full week into July, are starting to feel the benefits of just doing this for a short period of time. Now the actual workout, shoulder day, again, like I said, looks very black and white. Now, the secret emphasis of the month was running. So I did want to put an opportunity in here for you guys to get a little bit of mileage underneath you, but I don't necessarily want that to be like the main focus. So even if you do choose to do 500 or 800, or maybe you go over expected on the distance relative to yourself, you're not necessarily killing yourself because you don't want to take too much away from the weights. That being said, I did put the 2 biggest lifts first. In theory, you could go in any order. It doesn't say otherwise. But again, put the seated press and the single arm high row, so the heavy lifts here, first, just so if you do decide to kind of push on the run and you're a little pre-exhausted going into these lifts, at least the second half of the lifts are the supplemental lifts or the secondary lifts, ones that don't require nearly as much energy and aren't as taxing as these bigger lifts. So again, just like minute things when you guys are going through this, the more you can learn over time, the better. And order and operations goes a long way in terms of like success and efficiency, and your ability to take steps forward. So the seated press, the single arm high row, still, and I know a lot of you guys have heard me for sure say this in class, but like higher isn't always better. So, always doing 5 sets isn't necessarily the answer. Always doing 12 reps isn't the answer. If you want to take steps forward, eventually it's addition through subtraction or 1 step back for 2 steps forward. And a lot of times you guys do have to lower your rep count, increase your weights, struggle a little bit more, and even potentially bridge your weights. And if you don't know what bridging your weights is, again, let's just hypothetical. If I'm, doing seated press, let's just say I do 5 sets of 50s at 12 reps, with a 90-second timer recovery, right? And my main goal is to get stronger. It's not necessarily wrong to maybe just cut my timer recovery down a little bit and test my capacity and muscular conditioning a tad and just, cover all of my tracks before I go up in weight. Maybe you're a little unstable with those weights in your hands, who knows? But that's not the wrong answer, right? So in tracking that is good. The second option is that, all right, I've done 5 sets of 12. I now want to go up to 55s. I go to 55s, and all of a sudden, by the 3rd set, I can't even get to 8, right? That happens to a lot of people all the time. We get really defeated. We're like, we thought we were ready to go. Like, going up a weight class and building strength and muscle is so slow. You have to have patience and a little bit of grit and grind to kind of how you're approaching this. And what I mean by that is, again, you come back to bridging your weights. So let's say, I'm aiming for 4 or 5 sets of 10 because I'm being realistic. I'm going up, 10 pounds. 10 pounds on, it's a 10% jump from my 100 pounds total. That's a big jump in the weightlifting world. That's realistic that I should aim for 10. And I'm okay if I only get 9 or 8. I'm just going to track that and write that down. So maybe first set I do 10, second set I do 10 again, barely. Third set, I'm just, even with a 90-second timer recovery, I just don't have it in my muscle to do 8 reps. Maybe I get 6, right? Instead of hanging your head, you should plan for this, be a little proactive. You guys have the extra set of dumbbells of 50s lying out right in front of you. You do, under the anticipation that you're probably going to fail, because when you're weightlifting and you're trying to develop, you are going to fail a lot. So we need to get used to this. Again, I get to 6. Instead of being defeated and lose my confidence, I just put them down. I grab the 50s and I try to finish out as many reps as close to 12 as possible with the lighter weight. And then you do that for the next, 1 or 2 sets as well. Now, if you're failing on like set 2 or 3, I don't see a reason why you need to do 5 sets. You can definitely just aim for 4, like at the point you need to get to the 5th set. We're not getting anything out of that. So again, this is just talking about seated press. So we can get really detailed and layered on how you guys should approach this, but I'm hoping this opens up your eyes on how to approach the rep count and the sets count. Now that goes very similar to the single arm dumbbell high row. It's a big movement. You can move a ton of weight with that, especially if you're kind of in the athletic position, or even if you're kneeling on the bench. You can move an absolute ton of that. So kind of the same approach there. Single arm dumbbell lateral raise. Usually people are significantly weaker in this position. We're trying to isolate the medial part of your shoulder a lot more than these other two movements. So you don't have momentum on your side, and you usually identify one side of your body that is weaker than the other. Not necessarily that, like, let's say I use a 20 on my right. It's not that my left hand can't move 20 pounds. It's that it can't do it at the same volume. So that's what I mean when I say weaker. If you do, if you could do like a set with a 20 on your right, and then all of a sudden you just can't pick it up with your left, that's a different issue. We need to identify why that is so prominent. Like, that shouldn't be that distinct of a weakness. But in terms of volume, that's the kind of the stuff you want to track, right? If I'm doing 12 reps on my right side and I get to my left side and all of a sudden I can only do 10, and there's no way I can't get to 11 or 12 without sloppy form, that's something worth noting, right? Maybe we need to start focusing on that a little bit more, and finding a way to isolate that left-hand side or not leave it out. Maybe we need to do it first when we've got full energy. I do say it often, if you guys are lifting and you are aware enough of your body that and you've identified what sides are weaker than the other. It's not the same on everybody, and it's not the same on every lift. Then you should start with the weaker side when you're doing hypertrophy training. So start with the weaker side, lean on the strength, which is obviously the strong side. And then again, if you guys get to the post-delt superset, nothing crazy there. Again, supplemental movements right there for sure. Again, secret emphasis is running. I don't want to deter anybody from doing it. I will absolutely would do the half mile runs here. I just wouldn't do them at like a rapid pace because I care more about putting the energy into the lifts, lesser so into the run. So to be fair, if you're somebody that's not looking to get stronger in your shoulders and you just want to kind of hang out in maintenance mode, and you really want to emphasize on the run, this is an opportunity where you guys can absolutely put some serious output into it and go over expected on the run. But again, as always, if you guys have questions, just let me know. Hopefully this helps a little bit.